Good morning, good morning. It is day 25 of the 30 Days to a Better Us challenge, and that is so awesome. Every Friday, I so look forward to this every single week. Every Friday at 8 a.m., I go to a class at my local gym that is a stretching class. And I schedule it for Friday because it is my reward for working my body so hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So on Friday, I go to a stretching class so that I can just let everything that is built up throughout the week in my muscles, all of that lactic acid, and just let it all go with intention. Well, today that is your reward. Today, your challenge on day 25 is to stretch. Now, I had this grand plan. You know how it is. I have this great idea, and then things just shift on me, and that's what happened. So we were going to do a stretching routine, and I was going to walk you through everything that I've learned from my amazing trainer, Noah, and the difference between static and dynamic and what all that looks like. But the reality is that as I started sitting on it, the truth is, and as we've been doing throughout this entire challenge, that this stretch is the three-parter. It's mental, it's physical, and it's spiritual. And so I think that while we've been looking at the last 30 days, we're really stretching. But why? Why is that important? Why is that something that we need to do? What is the good that will do? And then how in the world am I supposed to stretch myself further than I currently do? So I figured that for this intimate conversation, we would actually just come into the bedroom and just kind of get real with it. Harvard Health actually says that stretching allows us to experience a full range of motion. It keeps our muscles flexible and strong, and without it, they become short and tight. And tight muscles easily become damaged. Okay, so mentally, stretching allows us to experience a full range of motion. So when we allow ourselves to stretch mentally, we have a larger mental capacity. Yes? Okay. Same thing physically, that makes perfect sense to us. But how about spiritually? If we want to do more, and whatever that looks like for you, wherever you are with that, there are things that we can reach for. And certainly, I think that having that connection is vital to being grounded, right? So as we reach for this better person, what does that look like for you, and how are you stretching in that area? It keeps our muscles flexible and strong. And mentally, we need to stay flexible. The world comes at us, right? So we need to keep not only our physical being flexible, but our mental being and our spiritual being, so that we can handle all the things that are coming at us on a reggae. And because tight muscles are easily damaged. So if we're not working our mental muscle, and we're not working our physical muscle, and we're not working our spiritual muscle, well, then something could come along and very easily take us out of the game. So that's a reason why we need to be able to do this. I'm kind of moving this around here so we're going to go on a tour. We're not really going to do that. I wouldn't do that to you. Okay, so the American Council on Exercise gives us 10 reasons why stretching is great. Now remember, we want to keep in mind that this is all, we're looking at mental capacity, we're looking at physical capacity, and we're looking at spiritual capacity. It reduces stress. Stretching reduces stress, and I'm thinking that about the majority of every challenge we have done so far does something to reduce our stress and anxiety. So we really better get at it. The second thing, it reduces pain and stiffness. Oh, brain freeze, brain freeze. I don't think that stretching is going to keep that from happening. But if it allows me to, maybe a spiritual stretch would reduce some of the pain. Maybe a mental stretch would make things not so complicated. And we know that a physical stretch is going to make tomorrow's classes just a little bit easier. How about general improving of our health? And again, we know what that looks like. We know what that looks like for our physical being. But guys, we've talked about our mental capacity and how that's important. Our spiritual capacity and how are we treating the soul within, right? What are we doing with that? How are we nurturing that? An enhanced range of motion. Again, we can do more when we are more flexible, when we are more adaptable, when we are allowing what we have right now, what you think is your capacity right now is not your capacity. We're going to stretch. You have a greater capacity than what you think that you have right now. And again, that goes for our mental being, our spiritual being, our emotions, right? All of that. We can handle more than we think we can. And we need to stretch in order to be prepared for those moments to come. Improve function. We just want things to work better. Okay, we can do that. Reduce injury. We talked about that. Tight muscles are going to get damaged first. I don't want that. Perform better. So think better, problem solve better, sustain more energy, more motivation, more confidence, more self-esteem, more peace, more wisdom, right? Improve our circulation. Now, again, while this is fabulous for our body and improving our circulation is super wonderful when it comes to oxygen in the blood, how about our mental circulation? We can get stale. Life can get stale. So when we stretch ourselves, it gives us the opportunity to kick the dust off, light it up. Minimize wear and tear. Again, I'd like to keep this for as long as I can, right? So what do I need to do in order to maintain it, to take care of it? If we take good care of our car and we change the oil on a regular basis and we get it on the highway so that it can start itself, what are we doing to take care of ourselves? We need to rev our engines a little bit. Today we're stretching. And in general, just improving our quality of life, because that's what it does when we allow ourselves to step outside of our own circumstance. We get a new perspective. We get new ideas. We get to experience things different. So how do we do that, guys? How do we do that? What's that look like? How are you supposed to stretch mentally, right? So a couple things here, just some ideas. I mean, you can do a mental stretch. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. You guys have taught me so much. But here's some things to just kind of get your brain flowing. So the mental stretch, you could do some planning. You could go back to your 5-year plan and kind of break things down a little bit more. You could look at your annual goals and see maybe some vision. How about being vulnerable? You could stretch by this 30 days has been a real stretch for me, coming in front of the camera with no makeup on, late at night, wearing what I'm wearing, feeling how I'm feeling. That has been a real stretch for me, but there's power in that. It's also been a real growth experience. Make a commitment. Tell yourself you're going to do something and do it. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's taking a class. Maybe it's starting that health journey. Maybe it's getting back on that health journey, right? But make a commitment. Try something new. We've been stretching our muscles as we've been doing this and learning something and experience something. How about forgiving someone? I think that that's beyond a mental stretch. That could also be a spiritual stretch. And sometimes, frankly, that could be a physical stretch. Just an idea. Okay, physically, here are a few things you can look at physically. Number one, go to your local gym. My local gym, I had no idea that my classes were available for free with my membership, and I adore him. He's fabulous. So if you ever want to come work out with me, especially on a Friday, you just text me. Let me know. We will go hit Noah up together. Second, YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in back stretch, arm stretch, chin stretch, whatever that desk stretch, right? Whatever that looks like, and do a 60-second, 30-minute, 10-minute, whatever time frame you have, but allow your body to move and stretch a little bit. How about yoga books or old school DVDs, or maybe some of us still have aerobic VHSs. You're not trying to go crazy. You're not trying to ridiculously exercise. You just need to move and stretch the muscles that you were that maybe you haven't been using for a while. Okay, spiritually. So how do we stretch spiritually? Again, whatever that looks like for you, here are just some ideas that are rolling off of my desk. How about listing your personal core values? Have you ever done that? Do you even know what your personal core values are? Google it. See what happens when you start looking those things up. What's important to you? Maybe take the time to define those. Start a devotion. If you've got something happening in your life right now, go to youversion.com. Download the Bible app. Pray. Pray with someone. Meditate. meditate. Just actually get yourself to sit there and go back to take a breath and go inside yourself, or listen to a meditation, or on YouTube you could go through a guided one. How about go to church? If you've had a goal to go to church, if that's something that is important to you, then just find one and just go. For some of us, that can be a stretch to just take ourselves, especially if you're alone. How about reading a book or watching a movie, something that will drive you? I mean, the purpose-driven life. I remember how much that stretched me when I first started. So again, I don't want to go too long here. I know that this is one of our longer videos, but the idea is that we need to go beyond our current circumstances, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in order to get to our next place. So yesterday we got creative, and that was quite a stretch, but today we are really going to be intentional with it. You're stretching just by participating in this challenge. How far can you go? I'm excited for you today. Let us know what you stretched and how it went. And I'll see you tomorrow.